Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is a Patreon special video. I want to start off by giving special thanks to our Patreon gang: Spectre A, Greenlight, Phoenix Man, Joseph, Tatsu, and Draglodia 5. These guys have assisted for quite a while now in their endeavors and supporting the channel. And this is one of the milestones that we achieved. This is a Holly Stone drone. I want to do the unpacking for in this video. To inform you guys and the rest of the community, we do use the funds for a lot other things. This is just something that I wanted to get for the channel because I want to branch out and do some different things as well, maybe on a separate channel or something like that. In the meantime, though, we do use funds to support all Discord activities. Whenever you guys order playmats, or whenever you guys join the Patreon, you get playmats such as this one right here below. Whenever you guys join the support, and there's also a bunch of perks and different privileges that you get, both in Discord, on the YouTube chat, on the polls, in videos, before videos, after videos, choosing topics. There's a bunch of different things that you can receive when you help out the community, and there's plenty more on Patreon. So let's get started, man. I'm excited for this, bro. All right, let's see. So. Alright. There it is. Before use, remove the battery and turn off the stick. What's this box? Just to inform you, I am a beginner or amateur drone user. I have had several other toy drones before this, but they've only been each one only got maybe half a dozen to a dozen uses out of them, both because of mistreatment and because of just they're poorly made. But these are badass. I definitely have improved. Been watching a lot of videos. I've been doing a lot of flying on my own. I've got this whole task for some games. I've been doing just fine, so it won't be an issue to actually maneuver it. So I'm guessing this is the charger. Two separate chargers, I guess? Or no, what is this? Okay, so I'm assuming that's the charger. I don't know what this USB is for. I guess to take the video, or the actual yeah, so whenever you record, you take a video and download it to the computer or whatever source you have. And I think I read on the brochure on the site where I bought it that you can put it on the app too. Okay, so here are the spare wings. They're airfoils. A little screwdriver. Alright, badass, yeah. There it's attached like that. It's two airfoils per thing. And this is a spare battery pack. I'm wondering if it'll tell me that I have to charge it first before use. It's a voltage, 7 voltage, 7.4 voltage, 880 milliamps. You get about 6.5 watts. Or watt hours. I think that's what that is. This, I think the on the site it read that it was I think 15 to 17 minutes flight time. So with 2 battery packs, it should be a good 35 around there. Ooh, nice controller. Ooh. I've been meaning, because all the other drones I've had have never had an actual stand for your cellular device, and I'm assuming that's what this is. Okay, yeah. So you put your cell phone in there, and this should extend so you can vary the width of your phone. Oh shit! It comes back. It's compressed. Okay, so this will actually seal or like, yeah. What's the proper word to use? It'll help keep it in place. Let's see. Nope, fits perfectly. Little stress test there. Oh yeah, because it goes down. Oh, okay, no, that's fine. Keep it right there. I guess if you maneuver a little too much, it could slip out. It may be my case, but it pretty much works. It's just fine, yeah. You can hold it right in the center. So it is pretty good positioning, so you're not like turning or excuse me, locking and unlocking your phone constantly. I can still maneuver the volume just fine. Yeah. It's pretty level in my hands too, so it won't be like a burden to walk around looking up at the drone. Sticks there. Yeah, man, it's pretty much like a PS4 controller. So that'll be like pretty, yeah. Alright. I think this is the controller needs batteries. I don't know which ones though. I don't know how to take it, bro. What is this for? What is that for? It doesn't look like a battery slot. It looks like a an actual slot to like hold something. Would you put like an SD card in there or something? Maybe like a storage place for that when you run out of memory on one. Or I don't know, because it can't fit another battery. What is this for? I will be reading the manual. This is just my first impression of it. And I'll be able to inform you on like all the details once I get to it. So the GPS. So I'm guessing. Apparently, I learned that the GPS feature is really important. It allows it to like position itself on Earth using the satellite. So like it won't like be flying backwards or just like be flipping around out of control that crazily. It helps it stay stabilized. And I think the GPS feature is what lets it like hover well, apparently. But I guess it doesn't work indoors. There's a different type of drone, or a more advanced one, I guess more costly one, that works indoors. Apparently, when you're inside, it you can't use the GPS because the roof or whatever is too thick. But there are ones that are able to help you like level yourself according to the ground. That's the base understanding that I heard, that like because they don't have ground sensors and because they don't have the ability to reach the GPS, they have trouble inside. I guess this is the return to home feature. I don't know what this is. I'm guessing this is the flip one or hover in place. I'm not sure. I don't know do the commands. These are supposed to have like a variety of different functions, like follow me or like the ability to orbit around the target. So I'll definitely be testing it out when I'm walking my dog to have the drone follow me around. It should take about like 15 minutes for the drone's lifespan to walk my dog. So let's get to the actual drone itself. By the way, this case is pretty nice. Like the drone and all the components, it fit like in their slots like really nicely. It's not like too abrasive, or it's not like, you know, too rough or too tight around the rim. So whenever you try to pop it out, it may like actually compress the drone or anything like that. It's really nicely spaced. Even the controller popped out pretty easily once I got like a nice little grip with my fingers in between. So I really do appreciate that. That should help with the overall durability of the drone, because over time, especially if like you're a youth, you probably will like, you won't necessarily like won't pay as much attention to it, but you may become careless to certain smaller features or certain like, you know, aspects as to how you're handling it, and that may over time like mess with the airfoils, the actual frame of it, or how it happens. Hopefully I'll be able to take care of it. This is pretty badass, man. I haven't had a rectangular drone yet. I've had the mini ones. There it is, man. It's snap out in place. That's badass. That's badass. It's like the little Predator. I don't want to say like a Predator drone, but it kind of reminds me of that somewhat. I keep telling guys that like I guess it was like recently a Joe Rogan podcast where they brought back some of those UFO guys. Bring their story up again and some different aspects and different information and stuff. And a few of my friends kept bringing up to me the fact of the possibility of aliens, and I was like, it's most likely that it's just advanced tech, bro. Like, we were working on stuff like this quite a while back. The F-22 was a concept quite a while back, and it took a while to even make before it became public. Same thing for the F-35. And that program delay. So there's definitely tech out there that we're working on that we have the ability to conceive at least. That probably isn't going to be public information, or even like it'll be extremely classified information. So there's going to be a bunch of officials, maybe even high-ranking officials that they just don't need to know, so they won't know. But I do think that drones are a really good example of like the reality of UFOs. Like, not in terms of like that they're real or not, the fact that like that's tech that we can conceive of, and just because you don't see it on like on an everyday basis or like on commercial or maybe even like common military applications, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, or that it's not capable, or that we don't have the tech or materials to do it. There's all kinds of things that we can like produce or make that we just don't have the ability to make or produce those materials, the materials that are required for it on a large scale that we have. Like there are invisibility cloaks that are camouflage cloaks that do the job to a certain extent. From what I understand, invisibility right now, the issue is movement. We can reflect things, refract things, whatever. But or show the image behind it in the front. But it's difficult to move right now. It's pretty easy to tell when something's moving and it has that invisibility cloak on. So as that improves, we'll start to see that. We'll start to see like vehicles that are not only invisible, but like it's crazy. Let's move on. All right, so with the battery out, I'm assuming. Let me connect the charger just to make sure you're familiar with it. It should be pretty simple. Inputs, outputs. Connect it to a computer or maybe like another like. I wonder if it notifies me when it's actually charging and when it's full or anything like that. I'm assuming not, because there aren't any like LEDs and the actual wires for this. So it should just be yep. It kind of looks like a clip. Alright, now let's take a second to read the manual. I'll be right back. Packaging for it. Alright. Cautions of battery. Alright. Avoid short circuits by feeding the batteries incorrectly, and do not crush or squeeze the batteries, as this could carry the risk of an explosion. Ensure you store or charging your batteries in an open and dry area away from anything flammable. It's recommended to use a USB charger cable when it comes to charge battery. Okay. Alright. Do not connect the battery directly to the wall outlets or a car cigarette. Wow. Okay, I guess it's going to the computer. Do not charge directly after use. Allow it time to cool down in an open area and dry area. Wow. So you can't. I guess you could still rotate. So like battery A and B, you put in battery A, you activate it. You'll have battery B in a dry and open area, or whatever. Or let's say you have it like hanging off the side of your backpack or whatever while you're walking down the trail or whatever. And then 15 minutes go by, you land that shit. Excuse me, you land it. Then switch battery B in. Then you're gonna have about 15 minutes. That should be about enough time and it's about, yeah. And they're recommending that no specified time, just cool down time. So if you should be fine to just like to go on rotation, an A/B rotation, that should be fine. But you would have to have like maybe a third or fourth battery pack, because they would obviously need time to charge. A portable charger would be useful, a portable USB charger. Do not attempt to disassemble or modify the battery in any way. Do not use the battery if it gives off an odor. Keep battery out of do not disassemble. Be cautious while moving the battery from the charger. It's still possible to strip the cords and that could lead to fire. Alright. Basic battery usage. So the keys to take from that is don't connect to the wall outlets and keep it cool. And use this charger, not another one. Not another one. And don't overcharge the battery. That's basic battery info right there, though. So, we got it. Cautions of the battery. Certified complete. Alright. Free gift, get an extra one for free. Oh. For ordering. Cool. We're more than glad to hear your voice. Kindly share your honest experience on the Amazon product page and get an extra drone for free. Amazing. Claim it now. Send the information below to or scan the code and send it to our Facebook. A screenshot of our honest order ID, an address to it. Feel free to let us know how we can improve our products. Great! Very good job. Nice, Holly Stone. Alright, so now we have instructions for use. I don't know what this is. Let's break this open first. I'm guessing this is like a logbook, so you can log all the issues, repairs, everything that you've done to it. Or what is this? That's what it looks like. Sticky notes on the side. To my dear friend, we appreciate that you have walked into our lodge to purchase your new drone. I love your purchase. Blah 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 blah. Need help if anyone to perform a problem with your order or drone. Our friendly customer team will do their best to help you out. All right, bet. Confirmation right there. I'm guessing that's what that is, yeah. It's a logbook. Doesn't have any like the appropriate log setting, but that's the only thing I can think of like for a drone. It's just like a personal sticky note or a personal notebook or whatever. But yeah, you just use this to like note down like you probably type base stats. So like if you wanted to, just how long the drone flew every single time. So you can also count how many times it's actually flown. Count how many cycles of charging the batteries have. Maybe even count the cycles of charging for the actual cord itself. How long the cord's gonna last. Even though it's really replaceable, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, those are just like basic info, like the life of the blades. So you know like if it's worth it. Maybe like keeping your log would be helpful to give back to the company itself. But they probably have done a lot of stress testing on their own. They probably already know about the lifespan in its entirety of that drone. But maybe you could give them a different perspective from your environment. go. Okay, so 1 through 40 is for us. I was gonna say, like, this is a lot of instructions, bro. Alright, so 1 through 40 is in English. Okay. Don't really clear about the disclaimers. Okay, so we have to fly in open areas, maintain line of sight, and below 120 meters or 390 feet. Cool. Alright, avoid flying over or near obstacles, crowds, high voltage power lines, trees, airports, and bodies of water. Okay, that all makes sense. Do not fly near strong electromagnetic sources such as power lines and base stations, as it may affect the onboard compass. But there isn't really any shielding on like power lines to stop like magnetic fields from being created with the currents running through those lines, so it's true. I'm wondering like if it'll be like that crazy though, where like I lift the drone up and then like it just spirals out of control because it goes near a power line. That'll be crazy. Alright, and we can't use it in the rain, snow, fog, or wind. Alright, so that's the flight environment portion 2.2, and it looks like we can check it off. Don't fly outside. Make sure you can see it. Stay below 390 feet. And avoid trees, power lines, crowds of people, large buildings apparently, and power supply stations or their supply lines. And avoid unpleasant weather. Operational requirements. Wow. So don't use it to follow moving vehicles. That's stupid. During the flight, only turn off the motor in case of emergency. Facts. As battery becomes low, return the drone back to your starting point. Agreed. This product should not be used while drinking alcohol. Crazy. Fatigue, taking medicine, or feeling any... That's crazy as hell. I'm going to be smoking that loud. Beware of the noise volume the drone produces. Keep your distance to avoid ear damage. Oh. Wow, that's crazy. This is that loud? That's not good. Stay away from the rotating propellers and motors. Don't fly in the no-fly zone. That's important. I don't want to get it shot down. It don't seem that tough. I'm not really that worried, but like if they can get to like your eyes or something like that, yeah, it could hurt you pretty badly. We're already okay, so that's we're gonna get a pass on the operation requirements. Good job. Now the use of the battery, we already went through an entire booklet of that as well. I guess there may be some other stipulations here that we could look at. Avoid short circuits. Don't mix new and old batteries. Take the batteries out if you're not going to be using it. That's about it. Alright. So we passed the secondary instructions of battery usage. Good job. We're battery specialists. Here we go. The essential parts, the maintenance. Clean the product after each use with a clean, soft cloth. Alright. So let's bring the product over here to look at what we should probably be cleaning. Alright, so definitely we're going to be cleaning the rotors for sure. Debris and different types of dust and whatever it may be is definitely may impede flight over time. That's definitely the case for real larger airfoils. Any nicks or tips may be a problem. We have a spare set. I'll probably be ordering 2 or 3 more spare sets, just as a precaution. I always like to have that there. I get really bummed out when like I decide to fly a day and then I can't fly because of like the airfoils are messed up or anything. We'll probably the moving parts are always important to whenever it's a metallic structure, to ensure that like those are going to be the parts that are always replace the most moving parts. And as you can see here, we can unscrew this here, so that may be something that we have to replace or try to clean. I probably won't be dismantling much of it to clean it. I'm hoping that it won't be like crashing that often, but it does have like I use rubber, yeah, rubber boots, so that should help with the landing. As long as we're making controlled soft landings and using the auto land functions or return to home function, it should be fine. And then we'll just have to actually like wash the main body. We can't submerge this obviously, so what does it say here in maintenance? With a clean soft cloth. Yeah, so it doesn't mention any water, so we probably won't be introducing any like liquids to the cloth. Maybe we might spray it with like a disinfectant, possibly, but that may adversely affect the material as well. So a soft dry cloth may be the best. It's not waterproof and mustn't be submerged. Yeah, so don't let it fall in the water. Yeah. Check the charging plug and other accessories for signs of damage frequently. Charging plug. Well, this doesn't charge. The battery charges. So I'm assuming they're talking about a connection there. So we'll check it for corrosion. We'll wipe it off or anything like that. Same for the battery teeth. Alright. So we're supposed to get a drone check, transmitter check, a drone battery. We got 2 check. The actual charger for the batteries check, a USB for the transmitter check. Oh. Charging cable for transmitter. Oh, that's why there wasn't an obvious battery pack supply. Okay, and that makes sense for that. I thought it was for something else. All right, so that's perfectly fine. We'll charge it. I wonder if this notifies us when it's done charging, because there hasn't been any notification or anything telling us that this is going to be charging, or that this is done charging, or even how long it needs to charge. And we've gone through 2 booklets of batteries, and I can't, like, unless I just forgot or I walked over it, but I don't honestly remember what it said about charging and if there was a time to charge. So we're still waiting for that stipulation to be made. Spare propellers, we have them here. The screwdriver, spare screws, check, and instructions for use. I'm reading it right now. Alright. So we did have all the materials. Good job. Good job, Holly Stone. You sent it to us. Drone details. Alright, so props. Okay, so if we orient, just to show you guys, we do have a camera on here in the front. So if we orient it towards me, you guys are seeing the back part here is the battery pack where it belongs. It's saying that propellers. Alright, so the opposite propeller is going to be A here, the diagonals, and then these are going to be propellers B. I think that may matter for the orientation of the rotors whenever you replace them. Like, you want to replace B's with B's and A's with A's. Yeah. So that's going to be that case there, and it has to do with like the positioning of the blades. All right, in the bottom is a power switch. So if we invert it, or you want to sit on that, but I want to see a power switch. Is this the power switch? Can I like touch that, push it down? Like, what do I do with that? Well, I'm gonna touch the power switch right now. There's no battery in there though, so. Okay, yeah, that does it. You impress that. Indicator lights. I'm wondering what the indicator. I'm guessing that that's what it's gonna do. That like, the book is gonna tell me a certain amount of time that I'm supposed to charge the battery, and then when I insert the battery, the lights here will indicate its charge level. SD card. All right, here. Perfect. I don't have an SD card. Yeah, it didn't come with an SD card, but I have one in my cell phone. I can probably pop it in there. Or if not, there may be an additional one that I have somewhere else. Okay, that's great though. I'm wondering if it'll transmit the data or the footage directly to the app though. I do believe that I heard that, but it may have been when I was searching for drones. And I may have heard that as a feature for a different drone. Alright. The rubber parts are called spar mats. Apparently, is what they're gonna call them. And before the arms are intact, yes, everything's there. Everything seems intact, and as it's supposed to be. All right, so we've passed on the details of the drone. Good job. Transmitter details. All right. Phone holder, as we already looked at before. With the left joysticks, the right joysticks. Power indicator here. All right. Okay, so this is going to indicate to us the power of the. There's an LED right above the power button right here. You guys can probably see it better than the power button. There's the power button itself. Then we have the trimmer button, long press. Then one key takeoff and landing. Great. It'll get us up and down with one key. Then the return to home function is this, and we pointed out with the H and the little arrow there. And this function here is the headless mode. I'll read up on this a little bit more, but I'm assuming it means absolute control. Let me look it up right now so I can give you guys quick, accurate information. Okay, so headless mode is a built-in ability for a drone to remember the orientation with which it took off. Alright. A bunch of different definitions actually I'm seeing pop up, so we'll see what the book that says about it later on. And the GPS mode switch. Curious to see what that's really about. Alright. We put it on the back side as we saw before. So speed switch. I don't know what we're going to be. I'm guessing this is when changing the velocity of the drone, and it's traveling. Maybe if it's following us, whatever it's doing in its path. This is to take photos. A short press takes a picture, and a long press initiates a video. Okay. Pretty simple. Great. And it's pretty well labeled, so now we know the definition of all of the signs. All right, good job. Now we know the transmitter. Joystick mode. All right. Hopefully they'll elaborate on what joystick mode is. Left hand throttle. Oh, this is what it means. Okay, so in joystick mode, the left hand throttle mode 2 will be default setting. Huh. So the left joystick will up and down, will descend and ascend the drone, and left and right will rotate the drone. Like this. Okay, cool. And then with the right stick, up and down will tilt the drone forward and backwards, and left and right will push the drone to the left or push the drone to the right. So I can orient the drone this way like this with the left stick, and then I can tilt it down and go forward, kind of like a helicopter. Alright, in mode 1, it's a different mode. To enter mode 1, turn on the transmitter while holding the speed switch button. Alright. But it looks like the default setting is mode 2. But let me just see what mode 1 is to see if I'm liking it or I'm liking this one better. So up and with the left stick, up and down, moves it forward and backwards, and left to right. Okay. Yeah, this is just flipped somewhat. Yeah, I'm gonna go with mode 2. That sounds a lot more cohesive. Alright. And let's move on to another charging phase. Okay, here's exactly what we're looking for. The charging instructions for the battery. Alright, so we have to gather a USB adapter. And that's fine. Okay, so it's saying it has to be 5 volts with 0.5 all the way to 2 amps. No more than that. So we're going to be using a computer port because that's going to be most efficient probably. And yeah. So I only have one cable, so regardless, I'll have to be using one option at a time. Cool. Remove the battery and connect the USB charging cable to the charging interface. Plug the USB charging cable into a USB charging port in the computer power bank USB. Okay, here's what it's going to tell us. Okay, the status of the USB charging cable indicators as follows. I didn't know there was an indicator on this. Where's an LED or something like that? Where's the indicator? Is it gonna make a sound or something? Okay. When charging, the red light is on, and the green light is flashing. What? Go back from the top. Remove the battery, so we're disconnecting it from the only LEDs that we've seen so far. Unless it's in here. That's probably why this is like this, yeah. Alright, so when charging, the red light is on and the green light is flashing. Are they talking about the colors of the drones? Nope. Something else has said that so far. Alright. So we'll see where a red and a green light are gonna come from. While fully charged, the red light is on and the green light is on. Okay. So the red light will always be on when it's connected to show that there's a connection. And then the green light, when it's flashing, it's still charging. And when it's just like solid, it's ready. Before charging, please check the contents of use of battery section in the station. Alright, we already finished that up. Alright guys, so we know how to charge the drone batteries now. We're almost perfectly good to go. Now we just need the information to like actually pair it with the controller. Once the batteries are charged, it should be good to go. Let me actually connect it to the charger right now just so we can get started early. Alright, we're good to go. The red light is on, showing that it's connected, and the green light is flashing, showing that it still requires charge. We've passed the charging portion. Good job. Transmitter battery. Alright, so the transmitter is off, and we'll be using a regular USB to charge it. This is also asking us to not use it, or to plug it into a less than 5. Or 5 volts, yep. 0.5 amps and or all the way up to 2 amps. The GPS charging indicator light on the transmitter will turn on when battery is charging. It will turn off while the battery is fully charged. Cool. Alright. Let's charge that as well. I do like that. The fact that they don't require batteries. That's always a hassle. And it somewhat does show like the quality of the product. I don't know, maybe I'm just an amateur. Alright, and as the instructions read, the charging indicator light in the transmitter will turn on when charging and will turn off when the battery is fully charged. Alright. We've now completely passed the charging process. Good job, guys. We know about the flashing lights for the batteries. We know that to always take them out whenever the drone is in any usage. We know to keep them in dry and cool areas. Drone's battery installation. All right, cool. Push the battery into the battery compartment. Make sure that the battery is firmly installed. Push the battery out and remove it. All right, cool. Hit the push button. Yep, right there. Those indents and indicators right there. Good job, guys. You guys already know how to install the battery now. Operation guide. Here we go. Download the app. Let's get that started. What the heck? I don't know where the scanner is. Okay. HS Pro. All right. Oh, great. So as that downloads, unfold the arms, cool. All the following operations on this manual takes mode 2. Alright, as we saw before. So that's going to be essential. Long press the power switch button on the bottom of the drone to turn it on. Alright. Place the drone on a flat and level surface with the head forward and the tail towards the pilot. Of course. Power the transmitter. Cool. The transmitter beeps 2 times and the power indicator light turns solid, indicating that the drone and the transmitter are automatically paired. There it is. And the hardest parts of actually like using the drone is actually pairing it, believe it or not. so this is second. Weird, but okay, but we have the app downloaded. Cool. All right. So with that there, 1 second. All right. Please power on the transmitter within 15 seconds of powering on the drone. Cool. That's important. So 15 seconds are almost simultaneous. Just set it down, turn on the drone, turn on the power, and then it'll pair itself. You have to long press the drone. Ooh. 2 beeps tells us that it's paired. Alright guys, the pairing process is complete. Good job. Calibrating the compass. Alright, this is difficult as well. Only calibrate the compass when the drone is used for the first time. The drone is subject to geomagnetic interference. Okay. So step 1, simultaneously it says simultaneously push the left stick to the top right corner and the right stick to the top left corner. So like that. The front blue lights and the rear blue lights will interval flash quickly. The front blue lights and the rear white lights. Okay, we go like that. All right. Step 2, hold the drone horizontally. Whoa. Okay, horizontally, and rotate the drone 3 times. The rear lights will turn solid white. Okay, so we just rotate it 3 times. All right. So we'll do that. Spin it 3 times. I'm guessing that's what they want. Cool. Hold the drone vertically. And rotate it 3 times. And then the lights will turn. When the drone indicator light flash changes, the transmitter sends a long beep. Compass calibration is not complete. Amazing. Cool. It'll be a milestone when we get to that. So the most difficult parts, pairing and calibration, are right here. And hopefully we'll get that done in the first flight. 10.5 GPS searching. Right. Place the drone on the flat. So the first rule for our GPS is don't use the drone indoors. Place the drone on a flat and dry surface and in an unobstructed and lit area. When the drone's front blue lights and rear white lights alternately flash slowly, it means the drone is searching for the GPS signal. The process takes about a minute. Alright, so after pairing and compass calibration, I guess we're supposed to press the GPS. When it tells us to do that, we'll get to that, but then it's saying that after we press that, the front blue lights and the rear white lights will alternately flash slowly. And it should take about a minute. When all 4 lights on the drone are turned solid, the search for the GPS signal is complete. The drone can only take off when it is connected to GPS successfully. Please make sure that the number of GPS signals is more than 7 satellites before taking off. Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to make sure about that, but I'll just let it search for it themselves. Yeah, I'll let it search for those satellites itself, and then and then it'll take off. I hope there's some around. Attention. The LED flight indicator keep alternately flashing slowly. It indicates the drone is searching for GPS signals, as was mentioned. If the blue and white light on the drone continue to flash alternately after 1 minute, it indicates the search for the GPS signal has failed. Please move the drone to an open area and search again. Okay, so don't be in an obstructed area so the signal can actually reach the drone. When flying indoors, press the GPS mode switch button, GPS to exit GPS mode, and the LED lights will turn solid. You can fly the drone when you complete the compass calibration operations if you exit GPS mode. Okay. All right, so this is that's where the important part is. So calibrating the instrument. So pairing is going to be easy. We just turn it on; it should automatically pair. We're going to be using the joysticks and rotating the drone 3 times horizontally and vertically to properly calibrate the compass. And then we'll be pressing the GPS button and waiting about a minute with alternate flashings from the front and rear lights, the blue and the white ones, to connect to the GPS. We can press GPS a second time to disconnect from GPS mode, calibrate the compass, and then fly inside. Alright, 10.6 connect Wi-Fi indoors. Plane holder or phone holder. Turn above the open phone holder and put the phone. And you can the FPF real-time transmission function. Ooh, you can use the FPF. Ooh, okay. Alright. Connect your smartphone to the Wi-Fi of the drone and check your drone status on the HS165 Pro app. Alright. On your smartphone, launch the search of the available Wi-Fi networks. Select the Wi-Fi network Hollystone FPV. Okay, cool. Alright. Wait for your smartphone to connect the Wi-Fi network to the drone. This connection is generally represented by the Wi-Fi logo appearing on your smartphone screen. Enter the HSGPS Pro application. The connection between your smartphone and the drone is established automatically. Alright, that's that's amazing. Cool. Alright, so we just put it on there. Turn the app on. Turn the Wi-Fi on, connect it, and then we're good to go. Okay, here's the other difficult part. Calibrating the gyro. Simultaneously push the left and right stick to the bottom left corner. When the drone's front white indicator light and the rear blue indicator light change from quick flash to solid, the transmitter beeps once. The gyroscope calibration is complete. Alright. Wow, that's it? To ensure a stable flight, we suggest the pilot calibrates the gyro every time after pairing the drone and after a crash. Yep. So we'll turn it on, we'll get it ready, then after we pair it. Unlock the rotor. Whoa. Simultaneously push the left stick to the lower right corner and the right stick to the lower left corner. Simultaneously push the left stick. Okay, so they do that in the opposite. When the propellers rotate, the drone is unlocked. What does unlocked mean? Alright. Let's go to the takeoff and landing functions. As mentioned there. So if we short press this takeoff key, it'll hover about 5 feet. And if we short press take off your cannon, it'll automatically land on the ground. Badass. Function details. Trimmer function. Trim under no GPS mode. If the drone drifts forward, press the trimmer button and push the right joystick down at the same time to rebalance the drone. If the drone drifts backwards, press the trimmer button and push the right stick up at the same time to rebalance the drone. Okay. If the drone drifts to the left, press the trimmer button and push the button to the right at the same time. Okay, so basically just trim and then directional to the opposing way, or to the opposite way at which it's drifting towards. This is an accurate and efficient manual. I like this. When push joystick to the limit number of times, transmitter stops beeping. Okay. So when we trim it too much or to the limit of the trim, it'll stop beeping. When the trimmer operation is invalid, the transmitter will make a long beep. For example, trimming to the left and then to the right is considered ineffectual. Yeah. Cool. So we basically have the trimming function down. Just go right here. Trim. Yep. And it's the right joystick. Speed switch. The drone comes with 2 speed modes, low and medium. Press the speed switch button on the upper left transmitter to switch speed. Emergency stop. To avoid damage or injury. Stop the motors. Pressing these two at the same time. Headless mode. Press the headless mode, so this here the compass, on the transmitter to enter headless mode. The transmitter will beep every 3 seconds, indicating the drone is headless. Button, you will hear a single beep that indicates the drone has exited headless mode. Make sure that the pilot to stay at the same orientation as the drone head faces when the drone takes off. Under headless mode, the forward direction is the direction that the head of the drone faces when the drone takes off. In order to make sure that the pilot can tell the drone's direction, we recommend that pilots stay in the same orientation as the drone's head faces when the drone takes off. When the pilot pushes the directional joystick forward, the drone will fly forward. If the pilot pushes the joystick backwards, the drone will fly towards him. The pilot moves the right stick to the left to right, the drone will move to the left to right relative to you. Okay, so it makes you the center point. We have the return to home function here with the H, as we talked about. So here's going to tell us whenever the battery is low. And the drone has no obstacle avoidance function. When the front blue lights and the rear lights intermittent, the first low voltage RTH will be triggered. During the return journey, transmitter will sound DD every 3 seconds. The sound will stop when the drone returns to within 20 meters of the takeoff point. At the end of the first low voltage RTH, the drone was still able to fly within meters. Okay. So it'll return to you. Okay, that. Once we get the second set of DD, it'll automatically land. You can cancel those orders though. Fail safe RTH. If the GPS signal is available, at least 7 satellites, and the home point is recorded previously, the transmitter signal and the mobile or Wi-Fi signal are interrupted for more than 5 seconds. At the same time, the drone will automatically start the return procedure and will fly back to the recorded home point. The transmitter signals are restored during the flight. The drone will automatically exit fail-safe RTH, and the control of the drone can be resumed. We're going to take pictures. We know how to replace the props. The blades are fixed, so we just remove these top parts here by taking the screws off. And we should be good to go. And then the functions of the application. They're all labeled here. Settings, drone battery level. Cool. Waypoint mode. Operator can set any points on the map to draw the flight path, and then the drone will fly along the route. Badass. Flight mode switch. Click on this icon to select waypoint mode, follow me mode, or circle fly. Point of interest. This allows the drone to fly around the center of the circle at all times according to the set center, height, and radius. Badass. Follow me mode. The drone will keep a certain distance from the operator and follow the GPS position on your phone. Return to home. Yep, we know that one. 3D VR. Yep. Okay, that's pretty much everything, man. The rest are other existential instructions or warnings. FCC compliances, FAA compliances. Not FAA, FCC apparently. Okay. Alright guys, that should be it for that part. I'm guessing I'll either make a separate portion, add on a video to where I'm recording the flight, or I'll just make a separate video of the flight. Appreciate it, guys. Shout out to the Patreon gang once again.